In this video, you're going to discover how to give feedback without feeling uncomfortable. Hi, my name is Bernice Lee. I help entrepreneurs to achieve stronger business results by being poised and confident leaders. I've trained over 3,000 business professionals coming from 23 countries. If you're new to this channel, click subscribe and the notification bell to know when I post new videos. All the links I mentioned can be found in the description box below. Let's dive right in. Follow these 7 steps so that you do it in a brain-friendly way. And when I say brain-friendly, it means that that person receiving feedback from you will be more open to hearing what you have to say and taking your feedback on board. Step 1, create and communicate standards. Before you give any type of feedback, the first task is to outline the 5 to 10 key results areas and identify what the indicators of success are. A method that I suggest with some of my clients is that they involve their direct reports in the goal-setting process. Invite them to propose their own goals and key performance indicators, also known as KPIs. This process gives the staff member some autonomy over what they can achieve. It's also a really excellent way for you to gain insight in what they're thinking and how well they understand their role. Ask them to present their proposed goals and objectives to you, and then you can have a conversation about what you believe they should be working on. Then come to an agreement about their deliverables. If you are not having a formal discussion about performance standards in the form of goals and objectives at least once a year, at the same time every year, I urge you to start doing that. The reason is because if people are confused about what's expected of them, giving them feedback is also going to be confusing because there's no clear benchmark. Step 2, give feedback in a timely manner. If a staff member has done something really well or not so well, give feedback as soon as possible. Don't wait until the next time you have a meeting with them. Don't wait until the next time you have a scheduled performance review, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year from now. It is essential that you give feedback on an ongoing basis as things come up. Step 3, choose where you'll give the feedback. Whether you're giving positive or negative feedback, I suggest you choose a place where you won't be disturbed and that maintains the individual's privacy, like an office or a meeting room with a closed door. It also helps to choose a location that puts you both on an equal playing field to reduce the possibility of them feeling threatened by the situation. For example, some of my managers in the past had a desk where they did their work and where we met to talk about work tasks. But when we had conversations about my performance or my development, we'd step over to another corner of the office where there was a little table set aside or maybe a small sitting area with comfy chairs and a coffee table. It sets a very different tone. It's much more comfortable. It feels safe. It's a nice place to have a conversation with each other instead of facing each other across a desk, which can feel a lot more combative. You can also consider sitting next to the person or at 90 degrees from each other. All of these small details count. Step 4, start by setting your intention for having the conversation. The moment you tell somebody, please see me in my office, or so-and-so, I'd like to speak to you about something, they're going to feel a little put off. Imagine if you've had a similar experience. Immediately you might be thinking, what does he want to talk to me about? What did I do? Did I do something wrong? How did you feel when you had those thoughts? Maybe you felt unsure, uncertain, self-doubt, worry, maybe concern, or fear. I invite you to be an emotionally intelligent leader and help your direct reports by putting those unproductive negative emotions aside. You can do that by setting a clear intention for the meeting by indicating what you would like to cover and why it's important. For example, you might say, I want to understand what you think about this project so that I can support you to succeed. You can also show the person that you're on their side by creating an empowering context. Instead of saying something like, hey, I notice you're doing something wrong and I want to talk to you about how you can do better, you can say instead, I'm committed to working with you to complete the project to the highest standard. Over the past few weeks, I've noticed something that's been going on. I'd like to bring it to your attention because I think it could really help you do better. Step 5, be succinct, specific, and generous. Be succinct. The best feedback is said in one sentence. Be specific. Give the person specific details instead of generalizing. Be generous. I invite you to share yourself during the feedback process, share your feelings, and be authentic. Let's use a real example. You have a team member who started to show up late to internal meetings in the past few weeks and obviously wasn't prepared. An ineffective way of giving feedback might look like this. You're always late for team meetings. That's really unacceptable, and I want you to show up on time from now on. A better way of giving feedback would be like this. The feedback I have for you might be a little challenging for you to hear, but my goal in sharing it is to help you be more effective and more respected in this team. Are you open to hearing what I have to say? In the past few weeks, I noticed that you arrived at our team meetings 5 to 10 minutes late. I've also seen that you're not prepared to discuss the topics on the agenda. It's disruptive to everyone else when you arrive late, and our meetings aren't as productive as they could be because you're not ready to participate meaningfully. Your credibility with me and the team suffers, and since you need cooperation from other stakeholders to complete your project, I'm really concerned you won't be able to deliver the best result you're capable of. I'd like to hear your perspective of this issue. Notice a few things. Notice how I was succinct, specific, and generous. I presented what I observed rather than giving a judgment about the behavior being good or bad, right or wrong, which can make the listener feel defensive and subsequently unresponsive to feedback. I also described my reactions to it, as well as the consequences of their behavior. Finally, I gave the person an opportunity to respond by asking them to share their view on the situation. Step 6, take an exploratory approach to addressing the feedback, starting with a coaching approach and then using a more directive mentoring approach if necessary. You can discuss the following things: what the desired results or behavior are, actions the person will take, potential obstacles and how to overcome them, any support that they need, timeframes, and milestones. Step 7, summarize the conversation and express your support. You can do this by simply saying something like, I'm glad we had this conversation. To summarize, you've been showing up late because you booked calls right before our team meetings and they sometimes ran over on time. Once you stop booking calls, then I'm confident you'll be able to show up on time. You also agreed to block out sufficient time to prepare for meetings. You've made valuable contributions in meetings before, so I know you can do this. You just need to give yourself enough time to prepare. I really look forward to seeing you make these changes because I want you to be able to work well with the other team members. In summary, today's 7-step process to giving constructive feedback to your reports are: number 1, create and communicate clear standards. Number 2, give feedback in a timely manner. Number 3, choose a private location to give the feedback. Number 4, start by setting the intention of the meeting by briefly describing what you want to cover and why it's important. Number 5, be succinct, be specific, be generous. Number 6, address the feedback in a structured manner using both coaching and mentoring methods. And number 7, summarize the conversation and express your support. So question of the day, after watching this video, what will you start doing differently when you give feedback to your team? Let me know in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button to give me a like, smash that subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified the next time I release new content. And leave your comments or questions below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.